There is a moment, usually the first genuinely cold morning in October, when a petite woman puts on her autumn coat and disappears. Not figuratively, actually disappears. The coat that looked so elegant on the hanger arrives somewhere below her knee. The collar sits up around her jaw. The sleeves swallow her hands, and the whole thing hangs off her shoulders like it belongs to someone else, because in a sense, it does. It was cut for someone 4 inches taller. She looks in the mirror and thinks, I've aged. She hasn't aged. She's been erased by a garment. Here is what almost nobody tells you. Autumn is not simply a colder version of summer. It is a different set of physics. Summer clothing has almost no weight. It drapes, it falls, it disappears against the body. Autumn clothing has mass: wool, cashmere, tweed, quilting, shearling, leather. And mass is the single thing that a small frame cannot absorb. Parisian women who are petite understand this in their bones. They do not fight autumn with clever tailoring or with clever tricks. They fight it by refusing, flatly and permanently, to buy the garments that caused the problem in the first place. 7 pieces. A petite autumn capsule wardrobe, and every one of them chosen for the same reason. It gives you warmth without giving you mass. This is the same logic behind Donna Karan's 7 Easy Pieces from 1985, the collection that made the capsule wardrobe concept a formal idea. The principle hasn't changed. Only the season has. We're counting down. Before we start, you need to understand exactly what goes wrong, because once you see the mechanism, you will never unsee it. 3 things happen to a petite frame in autumn. The first is weight. A heavy fabric does not sit against the body, it stands away from it. A thick wool coat adds perhaps 2 centimeters all the way around you. On a woman of 5'8", that's nothing. On a woman of 5'1", it is a measurable percentage of her width, and it reads instantly as bulk. The second is horizontal lines. Every layer you add creates a new edge where a garment stops. A jumper hem, a jacket hem, a coat hem, a boot shaft. Each of those is a horizontal line cutting across you, and each one chops your height into smaller segments. Tall women can absorb 4 horizontal breaks. You can absorb 2. The third is default length. Autumn garments are cut long as a matter of course because length reads as warmth to a designer. Sleeves run long. Hems run long. Boot shafts run high. None of it is proportioned to your body proportions. So, weight, horizontal breaks, and default length. 3 enemies. Every piece on this list defeats at least one of them. The last piece defeats all 3 at once, and it is the piece most petite women have been told for decades that they are not allowed to wear. Number 7. The fine gauge roll neck. Not the chunky knit, not the cable, not the oversized, slouchy, swallow-you-whole jumper that every autumn campaign puts on a 6-foot model. The fine gauge merino roll neck, thin enough that you can see the line of your own shoulder through it, warm enough that it does the actual job. Here is why this matters more for you than for anyone else. A chunky knit adds bulk in exactly the wrong place, across the chest and the upper arm, which is the widest part of your silhouette to begin with. On a tall frame, that bulk is proportionally small. On you, it becomes the whole story. You stop being a woman in a jumper and start being a jumper with a head on top. The fine gauge version does something clever. The high neck creates a clean, closed line from your jaw downward, no gap, no interruption, and because the knit lies flat, that line stays unbroken all the way to the waist. This is vertical line dressing in its simplest form. One uninterrupted column, from jaw to hip, elongating the silhouette rather than interrupting it. French women who are petite own this in 3 colors and wear it under everything, all season, without apology. The verdict. Bulk on the upper body is the fastest way to lose 4 inches you never had to lose. Thin knit, high neck, always. Number 6. The jacket that stops at the hip bone. Wool, quilted, boiled, or tweed, the fabric is negotiable. The length is not. A jacket that ends at your hip bone tells the eye where your waist is. A jacket that ends at mid-thigh, which is where most autumn jackets end, because most autumn jackets are cut for a taller woman, puts a hard horizontal line across the widest part of your leg and buries your waist entirely. Think about what that does. Your legs are already the shorter half of your proportion. Now you've covered the top third of them in a heavy fabric. There is no styling decision that recovers from this. The hip bone jacket does the opposite. It ends high, it reveals leg, and crucially, it puts its horizontal break at a point where a break actually flatters you, the narrowest part of your torso, rather than the widest part of your hips. Good tailoring at this length respects your actual body proportions rather than imposing a standard one. You will have to look harder to find this. Petite ranges do it well. Standard ranges almost never do. It's worth the search. The verdict. Every centimeter a jacket drops below your hip bone is a centimeter of leg you have given away. Number 5. The trouser that ends above the ankle bone. This one is counterintuitive, so stay with me. The instinct, when you are small, is to cover as much leg as possible, to run the trouser all the way down over the shoe and create one long, unbroken column. It seems logical. It is wrong. A full-length trouser on a petite woman almost never actually fits. It pools at the ankle. It breaks twice over the shoe, and every one of those folds is a horizontal line. You have not created a column. You have created a concertina. The trouser that stops cleanly just above the ankle bone does something better. It ends where you are narrowest. It shows the thinnest part of your leg, and it ends deliberately. A clean, intentional edge rather than an accidental one. In heavy autumn wool, this matters twice over because heavy fabric pools far worse than light fabric does. Straight leg, not wide, not tapered to the point of clinging. Straight, in a wool with enough body to hold its own line, stopping at the ankle bone. The verdict. A clean stop above the ankle beats 3 inches of extra fabric bunching over your shoe. Every time. Number 4. The narrow scarf. Autumn is the season of the enormous scarf, and the enormous scarf is a catastrophe on a small frame. You know the one. The blanket scarf. The oversized wool wrap, wound twice around the neck until it sits like a cushion under the chin. On a tall woman, it's architectural. On you, it removes your neck, shortens your face, and adds a bolster of volume at the exact height where the eye first lands. French women who are petite do own scarves. They own small ones. The narrow silk twill, worn long and open, hanging in 2 vertical lines down the front, or the small square, folded to a band and tied close at the throat. Both do the warmth job. Neither adds a single centimeter of horizontal volume, and the narrow silk version actively adds vertical line, which is the thing you are always short of. If you want real warmth, put it in the jumper, not the scarf. The scarf's job here is line, not insulation. The verdict. Never let anything sit between your chin and your collarbone that you cannot see over. Number 3. The boot in the same color as the hem above it. This is the piece where Parisian women are quietly, ruthlessly strategic. A boot creates a horizontal break at the point where it meets your trouser or your hem. If your trouser is navy and your boot is black, the eye reads 2 separate objects, and the break is hard. Your leg is now visibly cut into 2 shorter pieces. If the boot is the same tone as the hem above it, the eye reads one continuous line from knee to floor. Nothing is cut. Your leg simply continues. This is tonal dressing, sometimes called monochromatic dressing, and for petite women, it is one of the most powerful applications of basic color theory available. The effect is not subtle. It is the single largest visual change available to you, and it costs nothing beyond thinking about it before you leave the house. 2 rules. Keep the shaft low, at, or just above the ankle bone, because a mid-calf shaft on a petite frame cuts you at the widest part of the calf. and favor a slim shaft over a slouchy one because a boot that stands away from the leg reintroduces the bulk you have spent all morning avoiding. The verdict: match the boot to the hem and you will look 2 inches taller in a photograph you didn't restyle. Number 2. The straight coat, unbelted, single-breasted. Here is the coat that does not erase you. Single-breasted, because a double-breasted front doubles the fabric across your chest and pulls the eye sideways. Straight, because a flared or swing cut adds width at the hem and turns you into a triangle. Unbelted, and this is the one that surprises people, because a belt at the waist creates a hard horizontal break at your midpoint, and on a short torso, that break is far more expensive than the definition it gives you. Length just below the knee. Not mid-calf, which is the default cut in almost every autumn collection, and which will end at the least flattering point on your leg. Not cropped, which strands you between a jacket and a coat. The shoulder is where you should spend your money. A shoulder seam that sits wide of your actual shoulder is the single most aging thing a coat can do to you, and it is the one alteration that is genuinely difficult to fix afterwards. Try it on. Look at the seam. If it hangs past your shoulder point, put it back. The verdict: single-breasted, straight, unbelted, just below the knee, and the shoulder seam exactly where your shoulder ends. And number 1, the long, fine-knit cardigan, worn open. You have been told not to wear this, possibly for 40 years. Long garments make you look shorter, the reasoning goes, so keep everything cropped. Keep everything short, stay small. That advice is wrong. And it's wrong for a reason worth understanding. A long, closed garment does shorten you because it covers your body in one heavy block and ends somewhere arbitrary. But a long, fine-knit cardigan worn open does the exact opposite. It creates 2 unbroken vertical lines running the entire length of your body, from shoulder to hem, with a column of your own outfit visible between them. This is the principle of layering working in your favor rather than against you, not adding mass, but adding line. There is no horizontal break anywhere in it. It's the only garment on this list that defeats all 3 autumn enemies at once. It has no weight because the knit is fine. It creates no horizontal line because it never stops across you. And its length, which should be a liability, becomes the whole point. It is also the warmest practical layer you can add without adding a single millimeter of bulk to your silhouette. The specifications matter. Fine gauge, not chunky. No belt, no tie, no closure of any kind. It should end somewhere between mid-thigh and just above the knee. And it should hang straight. A cardigan with a lot of drape or swing loses the vertical line entirely. Parisian women who are petite wear this constantly from September onward, over the fine roll neck, over the ankle-length trouser, under the straight coat. It is the quiet center of the whole autumn capsule wardrobe, and it is the piece most women watching this have been told to avoid. The verdict: the rule that petite women can't wear long was never about length, it was about closure. Wear it open, and length becomes the most powerful tool you have. Go back to that October morning, the coat, the mirror, the small sinking feeling. Here is what I want you to notice about it. Nothing about your body changed between September and October. You did not shrink. You did not age 11 days into autumn. What changed is that you put on garments with mass, and the mass was not proportioned to you, and it swallowed the shape you have. That's a shopping problem, not an aging problem. And shopping problems are solvable in an afternoon. This is the thing French women seem to know instinctively, and that the rest of us learn slowly, usually too late. Elegance at 60 and beyond has almost nothing to do with looking younger. It has to do with being visible, with having a clear, deliberate outline that the eye can actually read. Weight blurs the outline. Horizontal breaks chop it. Default lengths ignore it. 7 pieces, each one refusing to do any of those things. You don't need all 7 this week. Start with the one that costs you nothing. Match your boot to your hem tomorrow morning, and look at yourself before you leave. That single change will tell you whether the rest of this list is worth your time. I think you'll find it is. If this was useful, there's more of it here. And I'd genuinely like to know which of the 7 you already own, and which one you've been told all your life not to wear.